One hug. No words. No background music. There is no glitter stage. But it is precisely in that silence that something much louder than a cry is heard. The voice of the heart that finally finds its way. Today, Jin, the oldest member of BTS, who just completed his military service, hugged Jungkook in front of the camera in a moment that was never officially announced, was not promoted, and was not designed as part of a publicity agenda. The scene was captured unofficially through a short video clip that spread in the Army's online community in the morning, and in a matter of hours, had spread like wildfire. Army around the world described the moment as an emotional turning point, inner liberation, and the most honest moment between two human beings who have been bonded by more than fame. What exactly happened? Why does this one hug cause such a strong emotional resonance? And more importantly, why is the Army crying now? To answer those questions, we must look beyond the visual. We have to understand the context. Must read between space and time. Jin, since he began his military service, has maintained his calm image. Jungkook, on the other hand, has often shown unstable emotional turmoil in recent months, in live broadcasts, in his limited interactions with the media, even in the lyrics of his solo songs. But their relationship, which had been seen as harmonious but rarely deeply exposed, suddenly became the main focus of the public after the moment of the hug. Some observers of the Korean entertainment industry refer to it as communication recovery. Others see it as a silent expression of a wound that is never revealed. But from the side of the Army, which has been following the emotional journey of both, the hug is not just a symbol. It is confirmation that something that has been hidden has been completed. That one suspenseful chapter has been closed. One of the things that makes this moment even more thrilling is the silence that accompanies it. There is no official statement from HYB, no explanation from BTS. Even the major Korean media only gave light coverage, as if they didn't want to interfere too much. But it is precisely the absence of an official narrative that makes the public begin to dig, interpret, and feel. Some fanbase accounts mention that the hug happened after an internal recording for the group's comeback documentation. Yet another allegation leads to a private meeting, which coincidentally leaked through staff who accidentally recorded it. Whatever its origin, one thing is certain: the moment is real, and the public response is also very real. The biggest emotional reaction came from the first-generation Army, who have been following Jin and Jungkook's development since 2013. They witnessed the transformation of these two individuals from awkward and stressful young men to ever-growing global symbols. In that embrace, they don't see Jin and Jungkook as idols, but as human beings. Humans are tired, but still take care of each other. A viral upload from an Argentine fan wrote, "I know it's just a hug, but why do I feel as if they have forgiven something? As if this was the end of a battle we never knew." Similar comments emerged from various parts of the world, ranging from South Korea, Japan, the United States, to Indonesia. Crying, in this context, is not just an expression of grief or emotion. This cry is a form of catharsis, the release of collective emotional pressure that has been latent in the fan community. Was there any previous conflict between Jin and Jungkook? There is no official statement on that. But speculation about the emotional distance between the two had surfaced during the days leading up to Jin's enlistment. Jungkook, in some live broadcasts, once seemed glum when discussing BTS's oldest member. Although he never mentioned names, fans sensitive to the dynamics of their emotions began to pay attention to his pauses, expressions, and tone. I end the world of celebrities, especially in South Korea, which has a cultural ethos of hierarchy and honor among seniors, juniors, sunbi hubi. Small gestures can mean big. And in that context, today's hug feels like a silent referral that doesn't need a verbal narrative, A number of cultural psychologists who monitor the phenomenon of Korean fandom call this Jungkook moment a reflection of the collective emotional need for reconciliation. In a group dynamic as big as BTS, the public is unconsciously bound to the relationships between its members. When there is tension or distance, even if it is not explicit, the community also feels that HYB herself has not given any statements, even after the moment became a global trend with hashtags and discussions reaching millions of interactions. This raises a new question. Did the agency choose to remain silent because it was a personal moment? Or is there a communication strategy they are designing? Some Korean media experts suspect HYB is preparing a larger narrative, perhaps a documentary or a special feature that will capture the moment exclusively. But for the ARMY, that moment was enough. They did not wait for the official narrative. They have conceived their own meaning through an interconnection that has been formed over a decade. Interestingly, after the hug went viral, Jungkook's personal account posted a black and white picture without a caption, just an empty background. Jin himself did not comment on anything, but in one short interaction session with fans via Weverse, he answered one question. "Do you feel relieved today?" Jin replied, "Yes." Finally. The word "finally" sparked new speculation. The end of what? Is this a cover of personal tension? Or the beginning of a new chapter in their relationship? The world of entertainment may not always give a direct answer. But moments like these, with no script, no choreography, and no music touch far deeper than any grand show they've ever performed. Today, the public is witnessing something very rare: honesty. In Jin and Jungkook's arms, the public sees the trauma that may never be spoken, the guilt that never shows, and the compassion that has been hidden behind the global rush and demands of professionalism. Now, we can only wait. Will this be the beginning of greater openness between BTS members? Will there be an official statement? Or will everything be left as a silent moment that lingers in the collective memory of fans? One hug changed everything. Today's embrace between Jin and Jungkook has drawn thousands of emotional responses from fans around the world. But behind it, we're invited to dig deeper. Not just to accept, but to test. Is the moment really spontaneous, without hidden scenarios? Did it happen naturally? Or was it part of a carefully engineered communication plan by management to distract the public from other issues? What do we really know? We know that there are viral video footage. We know that hugs happen. We know that many fans respond with tears and nostalgia. But what we do not know is much more. The context, the setting, the intention, and whether the camera that recorded the moment was present by chance or because it was prepared. It is important to note that all the information currently circulating is sourced from channels that are not fully verified. Snippets of videos from TikTok, screenshots from Weverse, tweets that do not have official links, and emotional analysis of YouTube videos without narrative clarification. Are you absolutely sure that this is pure and not part of the communication agenda? Let's clarify our position. We do not declare that these events are a lie. We also do not conclude that this is a commercial scenario. But we invite the public not to swallow every emotional moment that circulates as beautiful and sincere as the impression may be. In this digital age, representation can be engineered, emotions can be produced, and the camera, in any form, can be directed to create a greater impression of reality. The moment of Jin and Jungkook's embrace is touching, but have you ever asked, why did it go viral so quickly? Who first spread it? Why is his emotional framing so uniform across different platforms? Is this really a spontaneous catch from the staff, or has it gone through internal selection before being deployed? Who controls this flow of information? And what is the motive behind the spread? Criticism of the media and entertainment management is not a form of hatred. Quite the contrary, it is an attempt to create a space of healthy, critical thinking and not entangled in blinding collective euphoria. Why should we always believe that every tear recorded is authentic? Why are we sure that the hug was not prepared as a dramatic symbol of reconciliation for commercial interests or even the launch of the next promotional narrative? We must also understand one thing. The emotions of the masses are an economic force. In the world of entertainment, public empathy is a very valuable capital. When one moment touches the hearts of millions of fans, then not only impressions are collected, but also loyalty, attachment, and consumption potential. It is then our duty as a critical audience to ask, is this embrace a human moment, or is it a product conceived by the media strategy division?